I've said this 1,000 times. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So they felt like we cared. They felt like the family cared. And they were made to feel that way because we do care. How you can be the greatest salesperson on the planet.
Welcome to the Rethink Sales Show. My name is Derek Kelly. I am joined by Jim Shorkey. And Jim, one of my favorite videos that you and I released was a throwback to you showing what the dealership was like many years ago.
Sure.
In the sense of people were having this great experience. This couple kissed at the end. There was popcorn. There was cookies. There was massage chairs. Yeah. And I remember you said, hey, would you watch this video and see if we should put it out? We put it out. Tens of thousands, like it's probably 10,000+ people loved it. And I remember watching it and it almost brought tears to my eyes. I know it brought tears to yours.
Yes, it did.
But I remember just the stories of people talking about the impact.
Yes.
So I wanted to dedicate an episode to talking about why do you think people kept coming back?
At the fundamental level, the reason the people continue to come back is because they want to. And you really got to think about that. They want to.
Yeah.
It's not a coercion.
They have a desire. Yeah.
They have a desire to come back. Why do they want to come back? Because they feel respected. They feel cared for. Remember, I've said this 1,000 times. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So they felt like we cared. They felt like the family cared. And they were made to feel that way because we do care. And if you treat the client the right way, they will, in fact, come back. They will, in fact, send people our way, referrals. They will, in fact, bring their kids. They will buy additional cars down the road. They'll keep coming back. Because we feel like if we do our jobs the right way, there really isn't a whole lot of competition in the sense that we're just going to do so much better job, so much of a better job than the guy or girl down the road or up the road that there's really not much of a choice, right? And do they all come back? Of course they don't. But enough come back that over a period of time, it's an arithmetic progression where, you know, if after year one, if 10% of those people come back and buy another car, and after year two, if it keeps going on 10%, well, in 10 years' time, you're going to sell the same number of cars automatically in that 11th year, plus the ones that you're selling anyway. So you literally are doubling your sales. Now, if it's 20%, obviously the doubling gets much quicker. But the fact is, it really does come down to the fundamental goals of the Jim Shorkey Family Auto Group. Why do they come back? Love the customer, love the team, keep it very humble. That's the reason.
Yeah. And that's so true because it shows, I feel like it shows a picture that often people don't think about. It shows everything you've thought about before that customer comes back. Yeah. It shows the training. It shows the care and the training of the sales team. It shows the understanding of the product. It shows the care of the customer. It shows the prep of knowing your questions. It shows like them coming back as a response to everything your team has done to prepare that response. It's right. I bet, you know, I'm venturing a guess here, but I bet your sales team expects people to come back because you know the level of service you're serving people.
And I don't know that they do. I know I do. And so I'm the leader. No, I'm retired. So let's be clear about that. But when I was in command, I expected the client to come back. My management team expected the client to come back, and we had to convince the salespeople to have that same high expectation. And so I don't think it's not like it's a perfect system or everybody's spot on.
Everybody's happy all the time.
Yeah,
it's not
exactly. There's bumps in the road, but at the bottom line is, it's not like it has to be perfect. You and I have talked about this. Close enough is good enough.
Yep.
And so, do we take care of 100% of the customers 100% of the time? No, we don't. Do we try? I hope so. But we fall down. We're human. We make mistakes. We screw up. But the bottom line is our heart is centered around taking care of every single client the best way we can. And when we mess up, then we got to fess up and fix up and get it straight. But we're not perfect. So I will be very clear about that. But even in the case of where we do mess up, if we handle that recovery process the right way, those people come back too.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
It is fascinating, but it's a fact. Sometimes you can make your best customers out of your biggest screw ups because they see how you responded to a very clearly screwed up situation. You messed up. They know we messed up. We know we messed up. Everybody knows we messed up. Now what? And so people would call me and they would be very upset. And I would get to the people, get them a job, and we would get this thing fixed.
Yeah. And you
I made a
owned
lot
it,
of friends
right?
that way.
You owned it.
I owned it, yeah.
You owned your percentage of the deal, right? Like
I did. I owned it.
this is the percentage that I had in this problem. We own our part. That's powerful.
As the leader, though, when the team messes up, even though you were on vacation when they messed
That's
up,
correct.
it's still your
Yeah,
fault.
it's
Still your fault. You have to take ownership of the
Right.
whole problem, get involved, get it fixed. May require some training to say, hey, guys, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we really messed up here. We can't let this happen again.
Yep.
And here's what we're going to, and we work on training. So we used a lot of times the problems precipitated the training.
Yes.
And then the training made it better the next time around, or whatever we had to do. The most important thing when we mess up with a customer, we got to get the customer right. That's the most important part. As quickly as we possibly can, as reasonably as we possibly can, we've got to get this customer right. And that's what we work towards. And that's why they keep coming back.
Yeah, it's so true because you're recognizing just, okay, you just talked through a couple different pieces. One, you talked through the piece of, okay, we have a process in place, and you as the leader expected people to come back because you understood you cared about your salespeople and you cared about the team and you cared about the customer, but you also recognized that not everybody does everything perfectly. Neither do you.
No, neither.
But
Never
we're
did.
going to have training in place to do that, right? So that training will inevitably help people come back, right? Because people will get better, right? And you'll get better, and the team
Listen to
will
what
get
you
better.
just said. Before we started recording just now, I even said these words, did I not? I said, our program is called Rethink You 2.0, Rethink Sales. It's all about rethink, results from thinking. These are our words that we use for our little company here. But I said to Derek and Luke here, I said, we really could call this program Do Better. And we were talking about that. What does that even mean? Do better means I did 10 yesterday. Today it's 10.5.
Right.
Or 11, whatever. I did a little better. And if I keep on that mentality of lifelong learning, and Luke asked me this question, so I'm a little prepared here. Lifelong learning and constant and never-ending improvement, that's pretty well encapsulated in Do Better. So we could have our program, instead of calling it Rethink You, it could be Do Better.
Right.
And so how do we define doing better? Well, that's the inch. That's a half an inch. That's where we took care of 7 out of 10 customers, which in my parlance would not be a real good job. So today, can we move it to 8? And that's still not where we want to be. We really would like to settle out when it's all said and done. I'd like to do a really good job with 9 out of 10 of my clients. I know there's going to be some screw ups in there, either on our part or whatever the case may be. And I would love to be at 10 out of 10
Right.
all the time.
Yep.
But come on, guys. That's not really fair to anybody to say, we expect you to be 10 out of 10. It's just not fair. We don't expect our wide receivers to catch 10 out of 10 balls. We don't expect our quarterbacks to throw 10 out of 10 completions. We don't expect our quarterbacks to never throw an interception, to never get a penalty. It's just not reasonable. So in a business, this sometimes does get lost in the shuffle. We're going to go for perfection. I think we should shoot for perfection. I absolutely agree with that. But at the end of the day, you know from the program, it's progression that we're looking for.
Yeah.
Are we making progress towards perfection? So we go for perfection knowing that it's just really not realistic. But we're still going to try. Still going to try.
And we're going to face setbacks.
And we're going to face setbacks. Well, absolutely. That's just the way it is. There's something in the air right now. I live next to a farm here, and you can hear it in my voice before. It's caused me to sneeze and gag a little bit. And you just did it just now, which made me think that. It's in the air. I can't. And if you have a asthmatic type situation or that kind of thing, you're going to be bothered today. That's just the way it is. And for me, like my eyes are watering. Even right now, they're watering a little bit. I have a little bit of a runny nose thing going on and a little bit of a coughing thing. I was just out there with Coda and Bear hanging out on the bench back there. You probably saw me. I'm drinking my drink and just hanging out, getting some sun. And I'm a little bit runny right now. That's the setbacks of life.
Yeah. And you said it so well because just what brought people in, brought them coming back maybe in 2023 is not want to bring them back in. Oh, we did a really good job 2 years ago.
No, we're gonna do it again.
Well, we got to do it again.
And
we
again.
got to do it again. Because what brought them back last year? If we let up and we think,
hold on. So we did a great job in 2023. So they're back in 2026. And we do a terrible job. That's where the recovery process, air quotes, comes into play. So we got to recover with this client and get them right. And we may lose them, or we may impress them so much with the fact that we responded to the situation so well. They're like, you know what? I understand. And you know what? People really do understand. People are very reasonable. Don't buy into that. People will say to me, these customers are today, tell me how they are. Tell me how they are. How do you know all that? Customers are great. Customers are very reasonable. Customers are wonderful. Now, that said, are there customers out there that are unreasonable? Of course there are. Who cares? Who cares?
yeah, that's not your audience. You're not like,
yeah.
oh, hey, it's Jim Shorkey Family Auto Group.
Yeah,
Are
you
you
do.
unreasonable? We'd love to work with you.
Yeah, you do the best you can. And that's all you can do. So the ones that we bring back, because we did a great job in 2023, there is a possibility that we mess up. We got to have a recovery process in place. Recovery meaning recover the client. And so we may have lost them. And if we did, then but we keep working at it. And we're going to mess up and recover. And of those ones that we mess up on, we will recover the vast majority of them.
Right.
And sometimes make a better, not that we want to mess up. Please don't misinterpret this. But sometimes by the way we handle the problem, that's where we get a lot of repeat and referral business.
Right.
Because again, people are very reasonable. They do understand.
Right. And
they don't like the fact that you screwed up either. And neither do I. But let's,
Now, would be another way that you get people coming back? Would that be that, okay, maybe I bought a car 3 years ago and you're following up just to see how that's been?
Yeah,
right? I know you've had the car
question.
for 3 or 4 years now, Derek.
Yeah, no question.
Like keeping your folks top of mind so they're not like,
Oh, yeah. And I was merely just talking about when they do come back, doesn't mean we're going to do the best job ever. And then we still have to go through the recovery process. But yeah, we should definitely, as a team, as a Jim Shorkey Family Auto Group team, we should definitely be in contact with our clients who previously bought cars from us and make sure everything's going good.
Yeah. It's
And what
smart
can we do
because
to make it better?
You're building that relationship.
Do better.
You really do care.
Remember the new program, Do Better.
Do better. Yeah. That is good, Jim. Thank you for just taking. We're always like, man, Jim has so good stories. You have such strong stories that invoke emotion. We had Bruce Burke on, sells men's suits, and he said, I love the way you guys invoke emotion because it's true, it's visceral, it's real. And I could hear just you and I talking through that throwback video that we had of real life. You were there.
Yeah.
Of just what did it look like to serve these customers in a way that you're not just serving them so they come back. You want that, but you're serving them in the present moment.
Can I tell you a quick story along those lines about where my heart is? And so back when I was building the Suzuki dealership, okay, and nobody builds a Suzuki dealership, believe me, this was just not what was done. But I wanted to dedicate myself to this franchise. And with the help of Suzuki, they had a program. We built this facility. And it's a beautiful facility. It's still in play. Now, Suzuki's gone, but now that's where we have Mitsubishi. That said, when I was building the facility, we created a waiting room where the clients would wait when their cars were being serviced or when their cars were when we were selling them a car. They would sit and wait. And there was a TV and everything. And I decided to make this waiting area Lexus type, okay, Cadillac type. I'm a Suzuki salesman.
Yep.
I always liked the overstuffed leather chairs.
Yep.
I bought an overstuffed, like this, leather, like this, 2 of these, a couch, okay? And I'm out at the mall at Christmas time. And I'm watching these people in these massage chairs. And I'm like, man, that's really cool. I'm watching them. They're like, oh, come sit here, Derek. This is really neat. And they're the kids. And they're like, oh, this is really cool. So I go down to the thing where they were selling these chairs, and I said, how much do you want for these chairs? And what do you sell the chairs for? And I don't know for sure. I don't want to sound like a big shot, but I think it was somewhere around $2,000 for this chair. And I said, okay, I'll take 2. He's like, this guy about fell over. 2? So yeah, I'll take 2. So I buy these massage chairs. I get them shipped to the dealership. We have massage chairs in our Suzuki waiting area, along with a full-length leather sofa, 2 other leather chairs, everything leather. We had a table there where which was designed for them to be able to work on their computer.
makes a lot of
We had
sense.
plugins, all that stuff. We had a beautiful TV, a big screen TV that they could watch TV, not some little thing with rabbit ears. It was a nice TV,
Right.
cable, the whole thing. And so I would walk by there regularly and see somebody laying on the couch sleeping.
That's awesome.
I kid you not. Or they're in the massage chair, the husband, the wife, the ones that kissed on
Yep.
on that the video you were talking about. That kind of a thing where they're just, honey, oh, you got to sit in this thing. This is great. And people would just come there. We wanted them to come and eat their lunch. Come on in. And they weren't even buying a car, service car. They just would come to visit. Isn't that really a great business model?
Yeah.
So that's an example of what I'm talking about of love the customer, love the team, and keep it very humble.
Yeah. As I went to a sales training with a friend of ours recently that you were also a part of, and I was thinking about this. One of the guys was talking about guest experience, and he was relating it to Disney, and I thought how much your family's big Disney fans.
We
and
are.
That
Yeah.
guest experience
It
that you
is.
get, right? That's what you want to create.
That's what I wanted.
People that feel like they're a guest, because they actually are.
They are
And
a
you're getting
guest. Of course they are.
experience that they get to go through.
What can we do to do better with that customer experience? And with the Suzuki showroom, when I built it, and that's what I did. Wow. And it made a really profound difference in the business going forward. We were the top 5 in the United States of America for selling Suzukis. Top 5.
Wow.
We've sold a lot of Suzukis.
Yeah. And then you guys did it again with Kia.
We did. Yes.
Wow. Wow. Guys, you can just hear from Jim the power of, okay, how did he bring people back? But it wasn't just that. It was how did he take care of people?
Yeah.
Whether it was in the waiting room, whether it was on the phone, whether it was resolving an issue, whether it was following up. You hear these
Or just
sales.
being-
Yeah. And it's so true because you had these nuggets of sales advice in it. But it was really, at the end of the day, super simple.
Yeah, it is
Right?
simple.
It wasn't over convoluted or complex or complicated.
No, it's not.
It was simple. So thank you, Jim.
Pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Please
Thank you so
like
much.
and comment and let us know below. Leave a super bright emoji with a huge smile on it if you got to the end of this video. And let us know the impact that you had